In November 2024, Adeobi and Chinedu Okoye, a vibrant Nigerian couple from Lagos, landed in Cape Town, South Africa, for their 5th wedding anniversary. They were chasing a dream, romantic dinners, breathtaking views, and a week to celebrate their love in one of the world's most stunning cities. Their Instagram posts glowed with smiles, captioned with promises of forever. But what started as a fairy tale escape spiraled into a nightmare that left families shattered and a mystery that gripped 2 nations. What went wrong in their paradise? And what secrets were hiding behind their perfect love? This is a journey you won't want to miss. If you're new to the vault, hit that subscribe button, smash the bell, and join our community of truth seekers. Already a vault dweller? Drop a like and let's dive into the chilling story of the Okoye's final chapter. Stay locked in. Things are about to get intense. Cape Town, South Africa, in November 2024. A city that sparkles like a jewel on the edge of the world. Picture Table Mountain's rugged peaks piercing the sky, Camps Bay's turquoise waves kissing white sand, and vibrant markets buzzing with color and life. It's no wonder millions flocked here, drawn by promises of adventure and romance. But beneath the postcard perfection, Cape Town had a shadow. News 24 reported in 2024 that crime rates were climbing. Robberies, assaults, and even violent incidents in tourist hotspots like townships and upscale neighborhoods. Safety warnings urged travelers to stay sharp, a detail that would soon haunt our story. Into this dazzling yet dangerous world stepped Adeobi Okoye, a 27-year-old fashion designer from Lagos, Nigeria, whose star was rising fast. Her bespoke dresses, bold with African prints and modern flair, graced the backs of Nigeria's elite, politicians, musicians, even Nollywood stars. Adeobi was vibrant, ambitious, a woman who lit up every room with her laugh and her dreams. Her husband, Chinedu Okoye, 32, was the perfect match, at least on the surface. A suave oil and gas businessman, Chinedu had built a fortune in Lagos, his charm and confidence opening doors wherever he went. They met 6 years earlier at a Lagos art gallery, where Adeobi's red dress caught Chinedu's eye across a crowded room. Sparks flew, and their love story became the talk of their circle. Their 2019 wedding was a spectacle, hundreds of guests, a live band, and Adeobi's self-designed gowns stealing the show. Friends posted hashtags like #AdaChineduForever, calling them Nigeria's power couple. But some noticed a quieter side to Chinedu. He'd hover when Adeobi spoke to others, his hand always on her arm. He'd call her during meetings asking where she was. "It's just love," Adeobi would say, her smile brushing off their whispers. For their 5th anniversary, Chinedu planned the ultimate escape. A week at the Azure Bay Hotel, a luxurious oceanfront haven in Camps Bay. Their itinerary was a love letter to Cape Town, wine tasting in Stellenbosch, a cable car ride up Table Mountain, and sunset dinners by the sea. As they boarded their flight from Murtala Muhammad Airport in Lagos, Adeobi snapped a selfie, her engagement ring glinting, and posted it to Instagram. 5 years strong. Cape Town, we're coming. The comments exploded with hearts and congratulations. To the world, their love was untouchable. But behind the filters and flawless poses, something was stirring. Something that would turn their dream getaway into a nightmare. The first few days of Adeobi and Chinedu Okoye's Cape Town getaway were like a love song. They wandered hand in hand along Camps Bay's golden sands, their laughter mingling with the crash of waves. They sipped rich Pinot at a Stellenbosch vineyard, toasting to 5 years of marriage under a blazing sunset. At night, they danced to live jazz at a waterfront club, Adeobi's red dress swirling as Chinedu spun her around. Her Instagram lit up with dreamy posts. A photo of them clinking glasses, captioned, "My Forever King," and another of her barefoot on the beach. "No place I'd rather be." The comments poured in, couple goals, slaying. To the world, they were untouchable. But behind the curated posts, a storm was brewing. On the second night, at a lively hotel beach party, Adeobi chatted with a group of tourists, her smile bright as she shared stories of Lagos. Chinedu watched from across the fire pit, his jaw tight. He strode over, his hand clamping onto her arm. Why are you laughing with them? He whispered, his voice sharp as a blade. Adeobi blinked, caught off guard. I was just being friendly, Chinedu. He forced a smile for the crowd, but his grip lingered, pulling her away from the group. Later, in their suite, she texted her best friend, Nkechi. In Lagos, Chinedu's acting strange. He got mad about nothing. Nkechi replied instantly, Are you okay? Call me. But Adeobi hesitated, typing, It's fine. Just a moment. She didn't want to ruin their anniversary. By the third day, the cracks deepened. At a rooftop dinner, Chinedu snapped when a waiter complimented Adeobi's dress. She's my wife, he said, his tone icy, embarrassing her in front of strangers. That night, alone in their suite, Adeobi caught him scrolling through her phone. Who's tunned? He demanded. His eyes locked on a harmless text from an old university friend. He's just a friend, Chinedu. You're being ridiculous, she said, her voice trembling. His face darkened. You're my wife, Adeobi. I have a right to know who you talk to. When she reached for her phone, he hurled it against the wall, the screen shattering into a spiderweb of cracks. Adeobi's heart pounded. She was in a foreign city, cut off, with a man whose love was turning into control. The next morning, desperate for air, she slipped out to the hotel's private beach. A housekeeper, Nia, noticed her standing alone, staring at the waves. You look heavy-hearted, Nia said softly, her eyes kind but searching. Adeobi hesitated, then whispered, I'm scared of my husband. He's not who I thought. Nia's face tightened. There's a women's shelter in the city. I can help you get there tomorrow. Adeobi nodded, hope flickering, but as she turned, she froze. Chinedu was watching from the hotel terrace, his gaze cold. That night, in their suite, the air was thick with dread. Chinedu locked the door behind them. Planning to run away, Adeobi? He asked, his voice dangerously calm. She shook her head, heart racing. I just needed space, Chinedu. You're scaring me. He stepped closer, his eyes blazing. You're my wife. You don't get space. When she tried to move past him, he grabbed her arm, his fingers digging in. You think you can humiliate me? He shouted, slapping her across the face. Adeobi stumbled, pain exploding in her cheek. Tears stung her eyes, but fear kept her silent. She tried to run for the bathroom, but Chinedu lunged, his hands closing around her throat. You're mine, he snarled, his grip tightening. Adeobi clawed at his hands, gasping, her vision blurring with black spots. She fought, kicking, scratching. A gash opened on his arm, but it wasn't enough. Her body went limp, her eyes wide and empty. Silence fell over the suite. Chinedu stood frozen, his hands trembling as he stared at Adeobi's lifeless form. Panic surged. He couldn't let this ruin him. Dragging her body to the balcony, he looked out at the dark, rocky shore below. With a deep breath, he pushed her over the edge, her red dress fluttering like a broken wing as she fell. The waves drowned out the sound of her body hitting the rocks. Chinedu sank to the floor, rehearsing his story. It was an accident, a tragic slip. But Nia, the housekeeper, had seen him on the terrace earlier, and her words to Adeobi echoed in her mind. Someone knew the truth, and the walls were closing in. Adeobi Okoye's story cuts deep, a radiant woman, full of dreams, whose love became her undoing. As we peel back the layers of this tragedy, we're left with questions that linger like shadows. What drove Chinedu Okoye to cross a line from love to lethal control? Was it jealousy, a need to possess, or something darker buried in his heart? This case lays bare the chilling reality of domestic abuse, how it hides behind charming smiles and whispered promises. Chinedu's possessiveness wasn't love. It was a cage, built slowly with every jealous glance, every controlling word, until Adeobi was trapped. Experts say red flags like these, isolating a partner, monitoring their phone, erupting over innocent interactions, are warning signs too often missed. Adeobi saw them, felt them, but like so many, she hoped love could fix what was breaking. Could she have escaped if she'd acted sooner? Or was Chinedu's charm too blinding? His grip too tight? Then there's Cape Town itself, a paradise with a perilous edge. In 2024, reports from sources like BBC Africa highlighted a surge in violent crime across South Africa's tourist hubs, with muggings and assaults rattling visitors. Could better safety measures, more hotel security, clearer travel warnings, have given Getaway a lifeline? Nia, the housekeeper, was a beacon of hope, but one person's courage isn't enough to fix a system. This tragedy also forces us to look at the masks we wear online. Getaway's Instagram glowed with perfect moments, sunsets, smiles, love, but hid a growing nightmare. How many others are living the same lie, posting couple goals while battling fear behind closed doors? This case hits hard, and we want to hear from you. Have you ever spotted red flags in a relationship? Jealousy, control, anger? What would you have told Getaway that night on the beach with Nia? And what about Cape Town's role? Should tourist hotspots do more to protect visitors? If Getaway's story moved you, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories from the vault. Share your thoughts below. How can we stop tragedies like this? Check our Deadly Vacations playlist, and next week we're diving into a chilling cold case. Stay locked in, Vault Dwellers. The truth never sleeps.